Alright, hey everybody. Today is just going to be a video of cleaning the DM13. It's going to be just like an overall clean everywhere, everything video because I went and played Alien Aggression 3 at Wasaga Beach Paintball and I got sand and paint everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Like, I've never seen my gun this dirty and it kind of pains me. Anyways. So this is good for anybody who just wants to see how DM13s look, or anybody who has a DM13 and wants to clean everything, or anybody who has just another gun similar, or it even doesn't even have to be similar, you can still follow the same steps to clean it. So what you're going to need is you're going to need a barrel squeegee. Fuzzy one's nice. Pull-throughs aren't exactly the best for this because we're going to be cleaning inside the internals and everything. Like a microfiber rag, and then a microfiber cloth. You don't need both, but I like both because the microfiber cloth has a lot bigger pores and everything and you can soak stuff up. So what we're going to do first is just clean overall the whole body of the gun. As you can see, I've got paint everywhere. So you're just going to take your microfiber cloth with all the deep pores and everything, the long fibers, and just try to get the paint out of everywhere. Just wipe it completely down, every little nook and cranny you can. And if you can't reach somewhere like the little feed neck area in there, don't worry, I'm going to get to that after. Clean everywhere, both sides. I'm going to put my barrels out of the way for now. Don't push too hard because you don't want to grind any sand into your paint, into your anno job. So there, I've mostly gotten almost all of it. We can always continue to get more as we continue through the process. Next step would be to take off the grips. So for DM13s, you just grab the corner and you pull right there. It's a little tough today. Maybe this side will be easier. Okay. Why can't I get you off? These are the Virtue ones. They're a little bit tougher to get off. Sometimes it's good to start here. Okay, that's really weird. One second, let me get this in a better hold. Can't do it on the table. Ow. I don't know why this is being such a pain today. I never have troubles like this. There we go. Now I've got it. And as you can see, by removing the grips, you expose a lot more paint and shells and everything and sand and dirt all everywhere. So you're going to want to clean everything you can find now. As you can see right there, there's a whole bunch of paint. So I'm going to clean that because I guess I got shot in the trigger frame at some point. Be careful of your board. If there's paint on there, get it off as quickly as possible and make sure the board stays dry. And just make sure it's all wiped down, nice and clean. You can flip it over, check this side. Make sure your trigger's nice and clean. The micro switch in there has to be clean, otherwise you're not going to be registering your shots very easily. Alright, next step is to take off the regulator grip if you have one. So for DM13s, what you got to do is you got to take off the macro line, or at least this is the easiest way to do it. Take off your macro line and you twist it now with the macro line like that, and the whole regulator will pop off, and you can set your gun body aside. Oh, I don't have any space. There we go, that's decent. Now you can clean the little regulator area, make sure there's no paint anywhere. You don't want to get it into the little hole up there. Make sure it's all clean, and you can take off the rest of the macro line if you want. Doesn't really matter. So that's just your regulator, Hyper 3 DM13 regulator. And you can slide it off like this, and then make sure not to rip it on its way off, like that. And then I'd kind of twist mine so that the little macro line fitting goes through the side, and then you can just pop out the bottom first, and then it comes off like that. So with these grips, you can soak them in water. Warm water is fine. It's not going to damage them or anything. They're just plastic. Make sure you get the regulator out first, of course. Yeah, so I'm probably going to do that with both my grips to get all the paint out of them because they're a little bit hard to get the paint out. So let's see if I can zoom in a little. There we go. So I'm just going to get the paint out of these. Now for regulator, if you don't need to service it, which I don't, it should be fine unless you know you got dirt and everything in there, which I know I didn't. So just make sure your threads are clean and the top's clean, and you can wipe down the whole regulator like that. Is that focused? Not really. There we go. Okay. So that's all clean now. I'm going to set that aside just right up there. Next thing you can do is I'm going to go back to the full body of the gun, and we're going to take off the ASA because I know a lot of dirt gets stuck in the ASA. Right here. So for DM13s, oh, I'm smart. I also forgot to bring my Allen key set. I will be back momentarily, and this video will be paused at the time, and so for you guys it will take 2 seconds. Okay, I found some. I don't know if this is the right one. It's definitely not, so I will be back. Alright guys, I'm back with my Allen key set, and I'm just going to grab this Allen key right here. This is the one that removes the ASA, or it loosens it off at least. So I believe it's that one, yep. It's often pretty tight on the DM13s if you've never taken it off before, but I have, so it's not so bad, and it just slides off. So as you can see, or I don't know if you can see, I'm going to try, right there, there's a lot of sand and grime in there that you just don't want grinding on your gun all the time. So I'm going to get my Allen key set out of here because it's just in the way. Alright, and you can just take whatever cloth you want and just wipe it down. Just make sure to get in those little rail slots and wipe everything down. And you can even take your smaller microfiber if you want and just go into the actual spot where the tank screws in and just rub it around in there. So I got a little bit of dirt out of there. Also, you can take, if you have like a spare toothbrush or something, those are really good to get all the dirt and grime out of all these little places. I'm just going to use my little fluffy squeegee, and you can just go like this and rub it all around and make sure that the dirt gets out of all of these little areas. Fluffy squeegees are really good for this because they get everywhere. And they're sort of like a toothbrush, just not as coarse. Alright, so the ASA is fine now. Now we're going to get into like the big stuff. Oops, wrong way. There we go. Stay. Alright. Focus right there. Alright, so now we're going to take out the internals of your DM13 with another Allen key, which I believe is this one. Yep, so you go right there in the back of your gun and you can twist it out. Oh, I can hear the sand. Oh, I'm sorry. It's everywhere, man. That's disgusting. See, this is why I don't play outdoors. This is just bad. I've never seen a gun like this. So, take your can assembly and just clean it, like everywhere. You don't want any sand in this gun. You don't want any dirt or paint anywhere. That's the problem with bringing a speedball gun to that field, to a field like that, is you get dirt and sand in places you don't want dirt and sand. And with the DM13s and 12s, they have the windows, so they just let dirt and sand go on top of this little can assembly, and then when you twist it off, it's all grinding and your paint and stuff. It's not exactly the greatest design for outdoors, but that's why outdoor scenario fields, but that's why it's a speedball gun. So what I'm doing now is I'm just shoving my fluffy squeegee through the back of the gun, through the hole I made with taking out my internals, just trying to get all of the sand out of everywhere. You can also stick it down your feed neck and get the sand out of all of that. Oh, there's a lot of sand in that crap. I don't know how it all got in there, probably through my speed feed at some point. Also not the greatest thing to bring outdoors onto sandy fields is a speed feed. So make sure you get that all nice and clean as you possibly can. You don't want any sand staying in there. So I think that's pretty good. You can always look through and check. That's not bad. So I'm going to set the gun body aside over here. And now we're going to move on to the can assembly maintenance. So what you can do next is you can start unscrewing your internals and placing them off to the side. And some guns might not have this much internal stuff, but just remember which way it goes together. It's usually not so complicated. You can usually figure it out yourself because they usually make it so it only goes one way. So that's all of my internals all taken apart. Stop rolling away. And what you want to do now is you take your fine microfiber and you make sure it's nice and clean. I'm going to use this side as opposed to this side because this side's dirty. Just use the cleanest side you can and just wipe off all of the excess lube. That's from the last time you lubed it. And wipe off all the dirt and sand if anything got in there, or paint. Hopefully not paint got in here, or sand, but usually they do a good job of not letting anything get in there, but if there is, get it all off. Make sure it doesn't go anywhere. And like every single part, just wipe it down everywhere. You know where you've been playing in some crappy field. Well, not crappy field, but like crappy sand field. Not good for your guns, so take the extra 5 minutes and get this thing cleaned as well as you possibly can. So you can stick your pinky with the towel on it into little pieces like that and twist and get all the paint and everything out of there. And then this back piece, my back cap assembly, I'm going to make sure that I get all of the sand out of the threads, if there are any, so that I don't grind it when I try to take it off next. I'm not going to take this apart any more than this. It doesn't really need to be. I'm sure there's not too much sand or anything in there. Okay, so I think that's pretty good for those parts. Now this one, you can just do the same trick. You take your pinky through your cloth like that, and then you stick it through, and you twist. So just get all the crap off of there, out of there. So that's all the parts. Now you can just re-lube it and put it back together. I'm not going to show you how to do that in this video. It's not really necessary. I'm sure you know how to do that. So that's basically it, how to clean out everything. You can take if you have stuff in the feed neck like I do like that, you can just take your fuzzy squeegee and run it across there. It usually picks it all up. If not, you can figure out how to take off your feed neck, which is usually really easy. Just loosen off the clamping part, and then you just twist it right off with maybe a wrench while you have a hopper in it. Because if you don't have a hopper in it while you use the wrench, you're going to squeeze those little pieces on the inside. Yeah, so make sure you get the paint out of everywhere. You can disassemble your LPR if you think there's paint in there, but there's not usually. That's pretty much it. So reassembly is really easy. You put, after you've soaked these in water, you put this back onto the regulator. You screw the regulator back in, take the macro line, plug it into this end right here, and then into that other end of the ASA. And then you put it all back on your gun and re-lube everything, all the internals, before it goes into your gun. So guys, that's it. That's my overall cleaning video of DM13s, or just paintball guns in general. And I will hope to see you soon with some more videos. So like, comment, or subscribe below. And I will get back to you guys if you have any questions or anything. I can post a video response to any questions you have. But yeah, definitely just make sure your guns are clean. Nobody wants a dirty gun because it's just bad for the gun. It's going to decrease your gun's life. And I want my guns to last as long as I can, so I clean them as much as I can. So thanks guys, and don't forget to like, comment, rate, or subscribe if you like this video. Thanks.